my name is Alex, and today I'm going to be showing you how to complete the free application for federal student aid, or more commonly called the FAFSA. Before we begin with the FAFSA, you and a parent need to create an FSA ID. This is a username and password that you will use to log into and sign your FAFSA, as well as manage information regarding your federal loans and grants while you're in school, as well as when you graduate. So how do you create an FSA ID? To begin, open your browser and go to studentaid.gov/FSA ID and select the green Create Your FSA ID Now button. To start creating an FSA ID, simply create a username and password in the space provided. Keep in mind that the password requirements are listed underneath the password field and will be checked off as you complete them. Be sure to keep your FSA ID username and password somewhere safe. You will need it each year to fill out your FAFSA. Next, you will be asked to provide some identifying information. This is to link the FSA ID to you as a student. Be sure to enter your identifying information exactly as it appears on your Social Security card so that the FSA ID will link correctly. You will then be taken to the profile information screen. Here, you will be asked to provide an email address and mobile phone number to link your account for password recovery purposes. Please take the time to enter that information. Also, please avoid using an email that you will lose access to in the future, such as an email assigned to you by your high school. You will then be asked to create challenge questions. Pick from the provided drop-downs. Be sure that you keep these somewhere safe as well in case you are ever locked out of your FSA ID account. Finally, you'll be asked to review the information that you provided and agree to the terms. The terms basically state that you are the person creating the FSA ID and that all the information that you have provided is correct to the best of your knowledge. You will then be asked to verify your mobile phone number and email address. You will be sent a numeric code that you will be asked to enter on the provided screens. By linking your phone number and email, you will be able to use them to recover your FSA ID account if you ever forget your login information. If your parent does not already have an FSA ID, you will need to repeat this process with them. This completes the FSA ID process, and we are now ready to move on to completing the FAFSA. Before you begin your FAFSA, it will help to gather all the items you will need. These include your taxes and W-2s for the prior year, your current banking and investment records, and any records of prior year untaxed income. The FAFSA works off of prior year tax information. This means that if you are completing the FAFSA for the 2019-2020 school year, you'll be asked for 2017 tax information. Or, if you are filing the FAFSA for the 2020-21 school year, you'll be asked for 2018 tax information, and so on. To begin the FAFSA, navigate to fafsa.gov, that is fafsa.gov, and click the Start Here button. Then, click the I am the student button. You will then be prompted to enter your FSA ID. After logging in, you will have the option to choose which FAFSA you wish to fill out. Keep in mind that there are 2 FAFSAs opened at all times. Be sure to choose the FAFSA for the correct academic year. For example, if you plan to start college in the fall of 2020, you should fill out the 2020-2021 FAFSA. After clicking Next, you'll be prompted to create a save key. This is a secondary password that will allow you to resume filling out the FAFSA if you have to save and exit your FAFSA before submitting it. Keep this save key somewhere safe once created. The next page consists of some helpful hints to help you fill out the FAFSA. After clicking Next again, you will arrive at the beginning of the student information section. You will begin by entering the student's name, social security number, and date of birth. Be sure that the name and social security number you type in matches what is on the student's social security card. You will also note the blue circles with white question marks by each question. You can click on these buttons to open a new tab with more information about a particular question on the FAFSA. The next page will ask for a student email and phone number. Please be sure to properly report these, as financial aid offices often use them to reach out to you regarding your FAFSA. The FAFSA will then ask for your home address. Please put your permanent mailing address on the FAFSA. The FAFSA will then ask if you have lived in the state you reported living in for at least 5 years. If you choose no, you will be prompted to report your state of legal residence and will ask if you became a resident of that state before a certain date. The FAFSA will also ask about your citizenship status. Only citizens and eligible non-citizens are eligible for federal student aid. If you have questions about citizenship status, click on the question mark for more explanation. The next page will ask for your high school completion status, what degree you will be pursuing, if you have completed a bachelor's degree, your grade level, and if you are interested in work study. We recommend that you always check yes to the work study question. Marking no will mean you will not be considered for work study even if you are eligible for it. Work study is a need-based program that allows students to get a job on campus to earn money to pay for school. These funds earned from a work-study job are not reported as income on the following year's FAFSA, meaning it will not raise your EFC. Next, the FAFSA will ask if you are male or female. The answer should correspond to your sex assigned at birth. Again, if you have questions, click on the blue circle for clarification. If you select male, the FAFSA will ask if you are registered for selective service. All eligible males must register with selective service in order to be eligible for federal financial aid. If you click that you are not yet registered, the FAFSA will ask if you would like to be registered. Checking yes will automatically register if you are over 18. If you are under 18, the FAFSA will automatically register you on your 18th birthday. Next, the FAFSA will ask for your driver's license number and state. If you do not have a driver's license, you may leave this question blank. The next page will ask if you were ever a foster youth and the highest level of education completed by each parent. This completes the student demographics portion of the FAFSA. The FAFSA will automatically move you to the next section, School Selection. It will first ask you to identify the high school you are graduating from. Enter the name, city, and state of your high school and click the search button to bring up a list of matching schools. When you find your school on the list, click the blue Select link to select that school, then click Next. The FAFSA will then ask you to select which colleges you wish to send your FAFSA to. You can either the college's federal school code or search by name and location. Quincy University's federal school code is 001745. When you enter this, you will be taken to the results screen. Here, you will check the box located next to the school name to add it to your FAFSA. You can add up to 10 schools on your FAFSA. To add more schools, click the Add More Schools button on the bottom of the page. The FAFSA will ask you to identify housing plans for each college you have listed. This does not lock in your choice, but you should use your best guess so each school has the most accurate information. You are now going to be on the third section of the FAFSA, Dependency Status. The first page will ask your current marital status. It is important to list your marital status as of the date you are filing the FAFSA. If you select an option other than single, it will ask the month and year that you attained that marital status. The next screen will ask if you have or will have any children or other dependents who receive more than half of their support from you. To answer yes, you must have a child or other dependent and provide more than half of their financial support for the time period specified. For the 2020-2021 FAFSA, the time period is July 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2021. The next dependency screen will ask if you meet any of the other dependency criteria. If you can answer yes to any of the questions, click the box next to the appropriate question. If you cannot answer yes to any of the questions, click the box for none of the above. The final dependency screen will ask about a homelessness determination. If you believe you meet the criteria to answer yes to this question, we recommend you reach out to your high school's homeless liaison. If you did not answer yes to any of the dependency questions, you are considered a dependent student. Most high school students fall into this category. Dependent students are required to provide parental information on the FAFSA. You will be presented with the option to not provide parent information, but it is important to note that your aid cannot be processed without parent info except in a few specific circumstances. Once you select that you will provide parental information, you'll be taken to the parent demographics section. You are now going to be on the third section of the FAFSA, Dependency Status. The first page will ask your current marital status. It is important to list your marital status as of the date you are filing the FAFSA. If you select an option other than single, it will ask the month and year that you attained that marital status. The next screen will ask if you have or will have any children or other dependents who receive more than half of their support from you. To answer yes, you must have a child or other dependent and provide more than half of their financial support for the time period specified. For the 2020-2021 FAFSA, the time period is July 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2021. The next dependency screen will ask if you meet any of the other dependency criteria. If you can answer yes to any of the questions, click the box next to the appropriate question. If you cannot answer yes to any of the questions, click the box for none of the above. The final dependency screen will ask about a homelessness determination. If you believe you meet the criteria to answer yes to this question, we recommend you reach out to your high school's homeless liaison. If you did not answer yes to any of the dependency questions, you are considered a dependent student. Most high school students fall into this category. Dependent students are required to provide parental information on the FAFSA. You will be presented with the option to not provide parent information, but it is important to note that your aid cannot be processed without parent info except in a few specific circumstances. Once you select that you will provide parental information, you'll be taken to the parent demographics section. You will then be asked questions about your household size. The FAFSA will autofill the section for your parents and yourself based on answers to previous questions. The first empty box will ask you to list any siblings that meet the criteria A and B listed below the question. The second box will ask you to list any other dependents that meet the criteria A, B, and C listed below the question. Finally, you will report the number of people in your household as reported on the FAFSA that will be in college during the school year for which you are filing the FAFSA. Remember, you cannot include your parents in this number. You are now in the financial section of the FAFSA. The first half will ask about parent financial data. It begins by asking if your parents have completed their 2018 tax return, what type of return they filed, and what their filing status was. Enter this information as it appears on your parents' taxes. There are two ways to enter your tax information into the FAFSA. You can enter the information manually, or you can use the IRS data retrieval tool. The IRS data retrieval tool allows for tax information to be automatically pulled from the IRS and inserted into the appropriate field on the FAFSA. We recommend that you try to use this option first. Click the blue Link to IRS button to be taken to a screen where we'll ask for a parent FSA ID. Here, you will indicate which parent you are, matching it to how you filled out your FAFSA already, and you will enter in the parent FSA ID. You will be presented with warnings that you are leaving the FAFSA. Once at the IRS site, enter your information exactly as it appears on your federal income tax return and click the Submit button. Check the Transfer My Tax Information into the FAFSA form box and click the Transfer Now button. You will know that your federal tax return information has been successfully transferred because the words "transferred from the IRS" will display in place of the IRS information in your FAFSA form. If you enter your information manually, pay close attention to the questions on the FAFSA, as they will direct you to specific lines on your taxes. Starting with the 2018 tax year, questions on the FAFSA have changed to match changes in the IRS tax forms. So if you have completed a previous FAFSA, some questions may have changed. If you do use the IRS data retrieval tool, there are some questions that it cannot answer. If you get to a question that does not have the transferred from IRS notation, please note what form and line the FAFSA is asking for and enter the appropriate information. If you have questions about what the FAFSA is asking, you can click on the blue circle to get more information about what the question is. When you reach the asset question, it is important to note that while the FAFSA asks for 2018 tax information, the asset questions are asking for, as of the time you are filing the FAFSA, what your current assets are. You will then complete the same process for the student financial information section. Be sure to pay attention to whose information the FAFSA is asking for so that you enter the correct information in the correct spots. As you move through this section, the FAFSA checks for errors along the way. The FAFSA may identify potential errors and ask you to confirm your answers for certain questions. Your parent will then complete the same process. If your parent did not create an FSA ID, after agreeing to the disclosure, you can click the Other options to sign and submit button, and print a manual signature page that will need to be mailed into the Department of Education. Once you sign the FAFSA, you can click the blue Submit My FAFSA Now button to submit your FAFSA. You will receive a confirmation email and a copy of your student aid report, which contains your expected family contribution and an estimate of what federal aid you may be eligible for. Once you have reached this page, your FAFSA is complete. Be sure to monitor your email and mail for any communications from the schools you listed on the FAFSA regarding applying to the school or priority financial aid deadlines. After the financial section, you will reach the final section of the FAFSA, the sign and submit stage. This section will first ask if you are a preparer. A preparer is paid a fee to file a FAFSA for someone else. If you are filing your own FAFSA, or you are a parent filing your student's FAFSA, select No to this question. The FAFSA will then give you a summary of all of your answers. Take the time to read over this and look for any mistakes. You can use the section headings at the top of the screen to navigate between sections quickly if you need to make a change. The FAFSA requires both a student and parent signature. To sign, click the blue Provide Signature button and then agree to the disclosure. You will then click the blue Sign This FAFSA button. While the FAFSA can be a daunting task, I hope this video helps. You can contact Quincy University Student Financial Services at 217-228-5260 or financialaid@quincy.edu.